Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook, and we are going to the stars. That's right, we are talking astrology. I am super excited to be joined by Christina Celona. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning.
So, you are an astrologist.
Astrologer.
What's the difference between an astrologer and astrologist?
I hear that astrologist word every now and then, but no, astrologer is the proper.
Astrologer is the proper, but I mean, I've been hearing astrologist my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. What is that like? Is that more of the science aspect of it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. So,
I guess I will too.
Astrologer.
Astrologer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
now,
typically what we're called.
How do you get into something like that?
For me, it probably started very early on when I was a very little child. Just had different otherworldly experiences, which made me curious, and so I always studied different supernatural subjects or paranormal subjects, whatever you want to call it. And I grew up in Philadelphia, so I lived about a block away from a public library, so I spent a lot of time studying in the library. Very strange child, I suppose.
No.
But, you know.
It's what you were interested in.
I was always never not interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So then when I was about 17, an uncle of mine got into astrology and learned how to construct a chart and everything. It was, before the internet, before computers and all that stuff. And so I started reading it, I learned a little bit about it, and I was like, well, I just want to know, how does this know about me? You know, how can it tell? And so that started it for me, and I was hooked.
Now, was there any sort of like, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but like training process or like certification process, or is it just something?
There are certifications and degrees and things like that. I was pretty much self-taught up until my later 20s, and then I took some other formal classes and things like that, and it helped to, number one, speak with other astrologers, because I had never even talked to another astrologer before. You know, I had no idea, like, this whole world existed of them.
There's a whole network of of astrologers
had no idea.
out there.
And then that helped to fill in the blanks, basically, and then I would say in the last 10 to 12 years since then, just practicing and observing in real life, Because what astrology is it's a symbolic language of energy. So I'm just translating the language.
Right. So is it based in behavior, or like is it an interpretation of behavior, or does it have nothing to do with behavior?
No, it absolutely does have to do with behavior, but not only that, about our environment, certain characteristics or tendencies we may have. I mean, there's a lot that you can find out from astrology.
Right.
Most people are only familiar with their sign, their sun sign.
Right. What they see in the newspaper is, oh, I'm going to have a terrible day, or oh, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to meet somebody new today.
Right.
Like that's the extent that most people know.
Exactly, and I think that's why astrology gets a little bit of a bad rap.
Yeah, there's a little stigma to it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're saying anything, out of school there, but there's so much more to it than that. But is it, when you start talking about like readings and like cards and all that stuff, am I going away from astrology, or is that still fall right inside it?
Well, when we're talking about doing an astrology reading, we would construct someone's natal chart. So we would take their birth date, time, and place. And now we have great computer programs which can spit that out in like a minute. Back once upon a time, you would have to calculate the motion of the planets, one by one. Yeah, so I think that would probably be one of the reasons which would deter most people from learning it.
Right. So when you're born, it's basically the relationship between time, place,
time and space.
Time and space, and then your relationship
to the cosmos,
to your environment.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
Like we have that saying, "As above, so below."
Right.
So everything that's happening up there in the cosmos is reflected down here below to us on Earth.
Wow.
So there's all these energies present with which we're like making our way through. All
yeah.
the time.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and I'm talking to Christina Celona from spellboundastrology.com. So make sure you check out spellboundastrology.com. And it's been so interesting learning about all this stuff, and we've been talking about energies and stars and all this stuff, and you're actually running a really cool promotion right now.
I am.
And it's about basically becoming a whole person, and how you can pretty much take any person and fill in all of those little gaps that they might be missing in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean 6 months because, real changes take some time and they don't happen automatically or without effort. But yeah, so I use astrology, which helps to really nail down certain things. Some clients I've had, and I can tell them one or two things within an hour of talking with them, in one session that, they may have been going to a therapist for months.
For years.
To figure out,
Right.
So, it can kind of expedite things that way. Astrology can really reveal a lot. And so I use astrology in addition to several different holistic healing methods, some energy healing, crystals, flower remedies, all these things that work on a subtle body energy level.
So it's got a little bit of the astrology, it's got a little bit of the holistic aspect to it, and it's really trying to help people kind of, like I said earlier, fill in those gaps where they might be unsure about something that's just kind of been nagging or on their mind, or unsettled, unresolved type things. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, I like to just say that I can illuminate the path of self-awareness for them,
Okay.
and help them to create a more authentic life.
Okay. So how are people getting in touch with you? What do I got to do? What do I got to do to set up an appointment?
On my website, it's on there on my website, spellboundastrology.com. My phone number's on there.
Okay.
Do I need to say it on here?
So it's up to you. I mean, if you want to give the people your number, you can look right there in camera 3. Give that website again.
Spellboundastrology.com, and the number is 856-624-4193.
Give her
talk right to me.
Give her a call, and what's going to happen is she's going to set you up, and then we'll see what sort of needs Christina can meet for you, because she knows all about this stuff and she practices it on a daily basis. And if
I
you're
live it.
If you're interested in it, she lives it on a daily basis. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. Give her a call. So I got one more quick story for you. I move into my house, right? And it was the house that my grandparents had lived in for years and years and years. My grandmother passed, and my grandfather didn't need the big house to himself, right? So he moves out, and I move in. I'm in the basement. I'm cleaning out the basement, and I felt a hand touch my back under my shirt. Okay, so I was facing a wall, moving a TV, and it felt like somebody had lifted up the back of my shirt and touched my back. I turned around. Obviously, nobody was there. I am convinced. I know it for a fact. It was my grandmother telling me that it was okay. It was a touch on the back, like it's okay.
And it felt good to you. Besides startling.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
After the initial shock of it happening kind of wore off, it was a little calm. There was a calm that kind of came over me. But I've been looking for it again, or kind of wondering, will something else happen? What's been your experience with stuff like that?
I've had honestly countless experiences, and what we were just talking about on the break, you know, how these things exist. We're just not taught to think that way. You know, we're taught to think, oh no, that's just your imagination,
right,
and all that kind of stuff. And I believe in that. I mean, I've had so many different otherworldly experiences, like too many to talk about right now in this short time, you know. But I do think that we're all capable of experiencing those things. Some of us more than others.
Right.
You know, some of us are more open to it than others. But I just believe that when we're really small, like little children, I think are so sensitive to that kind of thing. And then once they get about 5 or 6, when they're in school age, what I call programmed.
Yeah, when they try to get that out of you,
they start to filter that more.
Yeah.
You know, but when they're really very young, I just think they're very unfiltered.
Yeah, very in tune as well.
Yeah, my son would always say things and see things, and Mom, do you see that? You know, flying around the house, and okay, bud.
Yeah, right,
yeah.
That's really cool. And listen, I urge everybody out there, if you're interested in this stuff, to talk to Christina, and you want to go to spellboundastrology.com and get all the information there, and hit up Christina and get some more spirituality and astrology in your life.
Go deep.
You need it, right? You need it in your life. Check her out. She is Christina from spellboundastrology.com. I am Mark Cook. This was Morning Coffee. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again.